Penelope, pause here for a moment, breathe and think. Imagine a woman sitting alone in the dark. She is not trapped in a dungeon, imprisoned, chained up. No, she is trapped in her own home. Around her, noise, laughter, the smell of roast meat, clinking glasses, the voices of men who had taken over every room, every chair, every table, every space that had once been hers. And she's sitting there, knitting, not because she is a weak woman, not because she had no other option, but because he learned something that most people only learn after a long time has passed. The most powerful weapon that exists is not an uncontrolled, angry, hysterical scream, but rather patience with purpose. And that woman is Penelope. And today I'm going to show you why. In Homer's story, she's not just a trophy, a mere supporting character. No, she is the most psychologically complex character in all of them. Odyssey. Stay until the end because the bedroom scene will change the way you understand marriage, building intimacy, and love. Here begins this story while Odysseus sailed the seven seas, wandering, sometimes lost, sometimes carried away, sometimes fleeing, among monsters, sirens, cyclopes, and goddesses. In Ithaca, his wife Penelope woke up every day in the same place. Same place might seem simple to you, but it's not. She was in a battle for her life, her son, her future, her kingdom, against 108 thirsty and lustful men, eating and relieving themselves inside her own house for more than a decade. 108 suitors who ate her animals, drank her wine, occupied her hall, and waited, with a casual certainty that they already considered something there to belong to them. And all that remained was for her to choose who would be the next to dominate her, command her, and probably kill her son. And they wouldn't leave whenever she wanted, only when their patience ran out. And every day was a silent negotiation and a subtle cunning. She calculated using, how can you appear to be still grieving without seeming fragile or weak? How can you appear to be still waiting without seeming naive? How to give everyone hope and negotiate enough so that no one explodes every day? To appear sensual but reserved, passionate but restrained, to offer space but impose limits, every day, every morning, and not too much so that tomorrow options are closed. There's no need to keep them in dispute. So, who was the real hero in this Odyssey? So understand that this Odyssey is not about romance, ladies and gentlemen, but rather about pure strategy and managing a threat in real time. The tear, the first psychological weapon. This is where the scene with the loom comes in. Penelope promises that she will choose a suitor as soon as she finishes weaving a shroud for her father-in-law, Laertes. By day, she wove, meticulously crafting every detail with new colors, designs, knots, and threads. But at night, she undid everything she had created. He fooled everyone with this prank alone for 3 years. 3 years. And here's something we tend to romanticize as fidelity, being devoted to your husband, your love, but which is actually much darker and much brighter, intelligent and astute at the same time. Penelope understood that the only resource she had was time, and she needed to be surgical in every detail, every insinuation, every look, every outfit worn, every neckline and to whom it was offered, every seduction, every hope, every word. She had no weapons. She had no army. She didn't have the right to simply send this bunch of riffraff away, or even to say, get out of my house. Stop. Think now. Build a mental image. Imagine that from today onwards you can no longer say no, but you can say not yet. And each not yet buys another day to exist on its own terms. This loom was not a loom that wove mortal carpets, but it was the most brilliant idea to steal time from destiny. It was a control strategy, in a situation where everything conspires to take away the control you have. Jung said that we all carry a persona, which is a social mask constructed to survive in the outside world. Penelope's persona was carefully constructed: a faithful wife, of a balanced queen, of a woman who waits with dignity. But think about this with me now. No one can maintain a persona, a mask, for 20 years without paying a high internal price. Beneath the patient queen lay a woman who, she doesn't know if her husband is still alive. He doesn't know if he'll be able to keep his son alive and safe. She doesn't know if the next day will be the last day she still has any choice. And she's certainly been through periods where it seemed like the end. And that layer, the one that doesn't appear in the fabric, doesn't appear in the steady gaze, doesn't appear in the "I'm still waiting." That layer was her shadow. Behind his mask was anger, exhaustion, fear, loneliness, and the most dangerous and distressing question of all lingered in her heart at every moment. What if Odysseus doesn't return? What will become of me? What will become of my son? What will become of Ithaca? The night before. Imagine the night before the archery competition. Penelope is alone in the room. The palace is silent, the kind of silence that carries a deep tension, a mortal fear, a tension that tears away and rips apart the peace. She knows that tomorrow, somehow, she's going to have to make a decision, because the time the loom bought has run out. Then she announces the contest, to bend Odysseus's bow, a bow that no one else can even stiffen, and throw it down the row of 12 axes. And here's what nobody talks about. She didn't announce this contest with pain. No! She announces with calculated feminine coldness, because Penelope already knows that none of those men will succeed. The competition is not a farewell to the past. It will be your filter. And the bow is the truth detector she installed right in the middle of the room. And the battle takes place. Odysseus takes up the bow, is the only one to shoot the arrow that passes through all the axes. He reveals who he is, and kills all the suitors. And Euryclea runs upstairs to wake Penelope with the news. But who was Euryclea? She was a Euryclea, a faithful woman, was bought as a slave by Laertes, Odysseus's father. She cared for Odysseus as a child and later also for his son, Telemachus. And she announces it to Penelope. He's back, he's alive, and all the suitors are dead. And Penelope had already done everything she could, everything that was in her power, and there was nothing more she could do. And stoically, she went to rest while the contest continued. What a personality. But when her servant warns her, she doesn't believe her, not out of coldness or ingratitude, but rather because 20 years of constant threat have created a kind of thick skin, a specific kind of mentality, a mindset that has learned to treat hope with extreme care. Because how many times has she woken up startled, feeling her husband beside her, hearing his voice, smelling his scent, feeling his touch? He didn't want to get his hopes up, and caution was his constant companion after 20 years. Have you ever waited this long for good news? That when she arrived, you couldn't feel joy? This is the psychological cost of continuous struggle, of prolonged survival. We learn not to let our guard down anymore. The reunion, the most honest scene in literature. She goes down, and it stands still at the entrance to the hall, looking, not for the bodies, but for man. There was a long pause. Telemachus, his son, is outraged. "Mom, how can you stay there? Aren't you going to meet your father?" And her response was dry, firm, from a hardened, suffering heart. And it was surgical. If he really is Odysseus, we both have our own signs by which we can recognize each other. Pay attention to the sentence. She doesn't say, "I'm scared." She doesn't say, "I don't believe it." She says, we have our own signals. This is a true expression of emotional intelligence functioning under extreme pressure for a very, very long time. It's mature love, not youthful romanticism. She is not resentful nor afraid. It is not revenge or cruelty, but rather a precise and clear Stoic mind. So she prepares a signal recognition exercise that only the two of them know, a trap for an imposter. She orders the servant Eurynomé to prepare the couple's bed for the stranger, and suggests that the bed be brought out of the room. And Odysseus explodes, not out of anger towards Penelope, but knowing this is impossible. Who moved my bed? No man alive, no matter how strong, could move that bed easily, because I built it myself around the trunk of a living olive tree. She still has her roots in the earth. And here, a profound silence fell. A pause. After that sentence, Penelope knew all of this. I knew it was impossible to move this bed. He knew that only the real Odysseus could have built it, and therefore he would know why it doesn't move. The test she offered didn't require any more strength from Odysseus, but purely conjugal remembrance, intimacy, because any imposter could know the name Odysseus. You may know about war, you may imitate the bearing of a king, but nobody, not a single imposter, knew about the olive tree inside the room. She listens to the olive tree's phrase, and something inside it, which has been compressed for 20 years, breaks through the surface, not as hysteria, but as a relaxed recognition. Don't be angry, Odysseus, you who have always been the wisest of men, and she will surely go to meet him with profound joy. Jung would call this a moment of individuation, when a person kai, when the shadow is integrated, and the self, who you truly are, without the survival mask, can finally emerge. Penelope did not give in to the romance. She surrendered to the truth, and there's a huge difference between the two things. But there is a final layer that Homer adds in an almost invisible way. After the olive tree, after the tears, after the reunion, Odysseus says he still has to travel. The prophecies indicate that he still has a journey ahead of him, and Penelope accepts. There is a long pause, and here's the scene that movies always cut. Penelope doesn't have an outburst, doesn't make a scene, doesn't complain, doesn't say, "No, you're not going to leave me again." She simply says, "If the gods have decreed it, so be it." And this is what 20 years of survival do to a now hardened, mature soul. She learns not to confuse control with love. Learn to separate what can be changed from what cannot. There is profound maturity in that, and it is not resignation, but rather the hardest, most expensive, and most painful form of maturity, forged in pain, in waiting, in suffering. So what secret did Homer hide in Penelope? It's not that she waited. Anyone waits when they have no other option. The secret is how she waited. With strategy when he had to manage threats all the time. With silence when words would cost too much. With patient strategy when emotion wanted to scream in her heart. She decided to say yes and embrace her love. And with a surrender, total, visceral, real, and profoundly intimate, when the evidence was undeniable. She wasn't naive. After so much time, she could no longer afford this luxury. And when love finally came back, she didn't embrace him first with her heart. She hugged him first, out of intimacy. Because for someone who survived what she survived, it was impossible to have hope without awareness. She could never accept love without first testing it. And that was yet another risk you could no longer afford to take. And the bed that does not move, rooted in the earth, planted and carved from living olive wood, was Homer telling us, the only love that withstands the test of time is the one with deep, cultivated roots that endure through time and space. If you've made it this far, consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and telling us which other classics you'd like to see reviewed. Kisses.